All right. So I can't think of any major announcements. Okay. This is this is oh, I forgot to charge it. I know I need to charge. Let me charge it now. Okay. So again, there are no real announcements. Mr. Jackson, feel free to type your message in the chat. Okay. So like whatever, or email me. Let me do it like this. Or if you want, we can wait till the end of class, and I can just let you be the last one in, and you can ask your question there. Let's go to view single page. So this is we're in the middle of week 7. Next week we can anticipate exam 2 over the second half of chapter 1, and that's really it. It's not it's not too much. So we're gonna kind of keep moving forward. So again, our typical format that we do. We'll like open up the class with a little bit of lecture, and then we'll use the rest for like just working problem set. If you have the best for me is our specific questions, right? Um, but general questions, I usually redirect people back to the homework or quizzes or things of that nature. But I think the best use of our interaction is specific homework questions. That usually works really well for me. So we're going to pick up here. This is where we left off yesterday. Okay. I'm going to let that charge. So we have, if f and g are two functions, the composition. So I think last time we did arithmetic operations on functions. So basically that's like adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing functions. So what we're going to be doing today is exploring this notion of what do we mean by composition of functions, right? So if f and g are two functions, the composition of the function f with the function g, written as f circle g, and is defined by this equation. So what this means, this open circle, a common error that students do, they think that this is multiplication. This is not multiplication. This is where f composes g of x. And what this means, this basically means the second function inside the first function. This means f of g of x, right? F of g of x. So the second function inside the first function. So all we would do is take f of x and replace each x with the function g. Let me let our brothers in. Okay, I think we're okay. Okay. So again, this symbol, this is not multiplication. This means the second function inside the first function. Okay. So let's see it in action. Oh, and this is talking about the origins of the domain of a composite function, right? So say we have a set of x values, a set of inputs, and we pass them through the function g, and then we get a set of outputs. Then we take those outputs and pass them through the function f, and so then we get a new set of outputs, right? These outputs are going to be the outputs of f composed g, and so the domain of g is going to be the domain of the composition. There's one more stipulation as far as finding the domain of a composite function, but we'll talk about that momentarily when it arises. But I usually do a 3-step process to find the domain of a composite function, right? So let's see this in action. Did I get the? I did not get the right one. So we're going to start by getting a copy. Let me get a copy of this question. And we kind of need to make some space. Okay. All right. So we have f of x is this, g of x is this, and we're asked to find these composite functions. Right? So again, we have f of x is x cubed, g of x is x plus 1. Part A asks us to find f of g of x. Again, what does this mean? If we have f of g of x, again, this means the second function inside the first function. So we take our f of x and we're going to plug g of x inside of that function, right? So actually, let me back up. This one wants f of g of 1. Right? So with this case, we can actually find g of 1 first, right? If we do g of 1, that's going to be 1 plus 1, and that's going to be 2, right? So we can actually take that 2 and plug it into f. Right? So if we do f of 2, that's going to be 2 cubed. And I think that result is 8. So f of g of 2 ultimately is 8. Okay. Just in the chat, I am monitoring the chat. So if anything is not clear, if we need to go back, just type it into the chat, and we can go back. And we'll have some time. We'll have some time towards the end. We'll have a good amount of time actually. Okay. Let me see. So then B asks us to do G compose F of 1, right? Why did you do this stuff earlier? Like, I don't get this. You wait, like, that stuff has been up there. I don't know what you've been doing. All right. So here, all right, so if we're doing this next one, this is the second function inside the first. We're doing G of F of 1. Okay? So let's do F of 1 off to the side. F of 1, I think that's going to be x cubed, that's it. And then we put the 1 inside, so that result is 1. So then here, we're going to do G of 1. G of 1, let's see. G is, what is it, x plus 1? But the x in this case is 1. So I think that result is just 2. Okay. So notice the first one was f of g of 1. The second was g of f of 1. So what we did is reverse the order. And notice we got different results. So this is not commutative. This is not like multiplication, right? It's something different. Okay. So then part C asks us to do f of negative 1. So again, it asks us to do f of of negative 1, right? Again, what does this mean? This means f of negative 1, all right? The second function inside the first function. So let's just go ahead and find f of negative 1 first. I think that's going to be x cubed, but the x in this case is negative 1, so then that ends up being negative 1. Then we take that result and plug it in into the back end up here. So then we're going to say f of negative 1, and then that ends up being x cubed again, but again our x here is negative 1, and so the result there is still negative 1. Huh? So we got 8, 2, and negative 1. Let's see, how do we do it? Let me get this on one page. Okay. So let's see, there's an 8, there's a 2, and our negative 1. Those are the same results that we got. Okay. If anything is not clear, you'd have to type in the chat to kind of get my attention. Otherwise, if I don't see any inquiries or anything, I'm going to kind of power through. Let me see what's after this one. Oh, there's a C. Right. Okay. Yeah. We'll do this one. This will be the last one that we need to do today. But I mean, we're not going to end class. We're still going to honor the time. We'll use the rest of class time to like work problem sets and things of that nature. Making sure, like, just keep working on Alex. So you can use this time to work on Alex. You can work on the homework. You can do the whole Ask My Instructor, and we can work on it together. As long as we're talking about doing things that are either directly related to the lesson or working on Alex, right? We can use that time for that. Okay. But let's go ahead and finish what we need to do. Let's do like this. 18. What is this one? There it is. It looks right. Add a page. Okay. Let's go like this. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay. Put you right there. Okay. So we have this f, we have this g, and we're asked to find these composite functions. Okay. So f of x. I'm coming down. Okay. Okay. So this one, oh, okay, yeah, there we are. Okay, so it says the f of x is 2x plus 1. G of x is x squared minus 3. Question A asks us to do f of g of x. All right, f of g of x. Actually, since we have a good amount of time, I think I want you all to give it a go. We're gonna do our breakout rooms again, like we did last time. We're gonna do 3 different breakout rooms. So it's a good idea. Go ahead and screenshot this or write down these questions A, B, and C. Room number 1 is gonna do question A. So we'll say this will be room number 1 is gonna do this one. Room number 2 is gonna do B. And room number 3 is going to do C. So give it a go. Based on the context of what we did in the previous. It, it is a good idea to go ahead and screenshot this. And let me see, who is this? They're late. If they don't already have attendance. She got it. Okay. That's a lot. Okay, instead of 3 breakout rooms, we're gonna do 6. That'll be a little bit better. Let me go here. Harris. Has he gotten attendance credit for today? Yeah, so he just got booted and came back. Oh, yeah, we should be able to, Mr. Jackson. Oh, that must have been from my earlier class. Wow, those are still here? I must not have closed it out. Oh, is he still here? Oh, he is not here. That was from the earlier class. Okay, oh, that's okay. Okay, breakout rooms. Let's see. More. So, let me see. 1, 2, 3, and then let's do this. So we're going to do 6 rooms. Room 1 is going to do A, B. We could do some more, but I don't want to do that. Let me think about it. Oh, see, those are already the same. Okay, so we'll do this. So this will also be what? Room number 4 is going to do A. Room number 5 is also going to do B. And then room number 6 is going to do C. Right? So we'll do two different sets. I just want smaller groups, right? So we'll do 6 rooms. If you have, you see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 1, 4, 5, 6, right? Let's do breakout rooms. I think I got to hop over here. I want 6 rooms. That's fine. Create rooms. Let's take, what time is it? We get out at, yeah, we can take 10 minutes. My person can make session anytime, breakout, notify when time is up, countdown timing. Okay, this looks good. All right, so you should be receiving an invite. Just go ahead and join your room, and I'll be coming around periodically to check on you guys. you looking like a lost child? You should have seen how big your eyes got. It's so funny. Okay, that's how much time is remaining. We got about a minute to do each one. Okay, how you guys looking here?
We don't know what problem you're supposed to be doing. I ain't hear what problem you said you're supposed to be doing.
You're doing part B. Did you get a copy of it?
Yeah, like you talking about where it says G times F.
Right, right. It's not. Yeah, you're doing part B, right? Yeah. Okay. So let me kind of go around each one.
Hey Matthew.
How you guys looking over here?
We working.
Did y'all want to ask?
Hey, Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Remember, like, you know how it says F and then like the circle between the F and the G? Is that F of G? Is that how we read it?
Yeah, it's read F of G of X. It means the second function inside the first function.
I knew I wasn't tweaking.
Right. It's okay. Like that's why I did these. Let me hop over to the next one.
Okay. Hey, keep that lavender. No cap. That would look like x squared. You said x squared minus 3.
How you guys okay here? Did you have any questions?
Yeah. To be honest, Professor, I don't know what the problem was because I'm at the store, so I couldn't really see the problem.
Did anybody get a copy of it?
I have a on my phone.
Yeah. And I think this group, this is what, room number 2? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could screen share, I could put the problem up on it.
Let me see. Are y'all able to see it? No? Are you there? Let me try this. Share.
Like if I could share my screen and I could share the PowerPoint slide that it's on.
This one, right?
Oh, there we go.
Just screenshot it. Let me move around. But yeah, again, the symbol, I think you guys are doing the part B. The symbol just means the second function inside the first function, right? So just give it a go. Okay. Let me hop over to the next class. Next session. Okay, how you guys looking here?
We trying it out right now.
Okay, yeah. You want to ask any questions?
What we was trying to figure out what group are we again? To make sure we're doing the right problem.
So question C.
Question C, yeah, we was doing B.
It wouldn't hurt to do both. It's not gonna hurt you.
All right, Professor.
It's not gonna hurt you.
Sure.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna let you guys be. I'm gonna move on to the next one.
All right.
All right. Hi. I can see a car, but that's okay. How you guys looking as a group, as a collective? Did you have any questions? I think you guys are. This is room number 4. You're working on question A. Do you have any questions? Okay. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Let's go to 5. 10. What's the time? I'll give it a few more minutes. All right. How are we looking here? You guys have any questions? You okay?
I mean, like the problem, right? There's no like we don't have like no value for X to plug in.
Right.
So
but still do the same procedure. Just don't use any numbers, right? So if you're doing, I think you guys are working on B.
yeah,
So you're doing g of f of x. So you take g of x and you replace all the x's with the function f, and then just simplify it down as best you can. All right. Take a few more minutes and we'll talk about it. Just do the best you can.
So like,
go ahead.
So we take x squared minus 3 times 2x plus 1 and like simplify it?
No, it's not multiplication. It's the second function inside the first function. So like you take the function g, which is that x squared minus 3, you replace all the x's with the function f, right? So you're going to have to use parentheses. Yeah, it's the second function inside the first function.
So it's going to be
2x plus 1 squared minus 3.
That sounds right? The function, the set 2x minus 1, 2x plus 1 squared. Be sure to use your parentheses properly. Right? Yeah.
Give it go around 2x plus 1.
Pardon?
It just goes around 2x plus 1.
Just do. You might have the FOIL, right? So, kind of think about it for a moment. Let me kind of hop to the next class, and we'll talk about it in a moment. All right, how you guys looking here? You guys okay? Did you want to ask any questions?
I think we're pretty good.
You okay?
Yes, sir.
It says my life matters too. Yeah, that whole Black Lives Matter debate is interesting because nobody's, the way the dynamics of everything, nobody's contesting whether other people's lives matter because they're protected, right? We're the ones that's just like seem like we're targeted as if we don't matter. Like when the cops engage people that are not us, they actually treat them like human beings. They actually value. It seems like they value any and everything more than us. Like if you look at the Breonna, and I'm just going because of your image, but if you look at the Breonna Taylor, the only cop that was fined was the one that shot away from their direction. Like one cop shot in the direction of an empty apartment, or not maybe an empty apartment, but he shot towards another apartment, and he got fined for shooting in that direction, but nothing happened for shooting at Breonna Taylor.
Exactly.
So I'm just like, that's mind blowing. But I mean, and like to me, I want to keep them open for a little while longer. To me, it's like I found myself saying, why do they hate us so much, right? And then I'm like, but the response I got inside my mind was like, no, they don't hate you. They don't hate us. It has nothing to do with us. It's just that they hate themselves. You can't hate somebody like that unless it's in you, right? But like if you love yourself, if you genuinely love yourself, you can't view another being like that because you realize that is you in another lifetime or whatever, right? But it's like, but if you hate yourself, you can't do anything but hate others. So it's like to have that kind of animosity towards another is because more than likely they hate themselves and they're just projecting on us. The energy to me it's the energy of the nail that sticks out that gets hammered, right? We look different than everybody. We probably are different. So it's easy to target us. It's easy to kind of use us as a scapegoat and and target us or whatever because we look different. But
That's
yeah.
true.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's true.
That's how I feel about it.
Self before anybody else.
Yeah, but it's like you can only really hate somebody like that if you hate yourself. But if you truly love yourself, you can't hate anybody else. Like I try, and it's like I don't hate them. I know where they are on their journey, and we have to protect ourselves from them and from themselves until they, whoever it is, and it's not a race. It's more of a spiritual position. Um, until people grow spiritually and start to actually learn some of those topics or whatever. I feel like you guys are okay. Did you want to ask any questions before we kind of come back together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see if I can pull everybody back. Close all the rooms. Okay. Return to the main section. Everybody's back? No, we're still missing a couple. Let's see. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on time. I like these breakout sessions. They're fun. I feel like it gives people a chance to kind of work in smaller groups. So a lot of the techniques that I'm invoking here, well, at least the breakout technique, I'm part of this group. This Wednesday group is called the Enlightened Collective, and we talk about like okay in the group number 6, one of the brothers had a thumbnail that says "My Life Matters Too," and it's like hashtag Black Lives Matter. So we kind of had a quick brief, discussion on that. I thought it was pertinent. I felt good to kind of get that out. But in the Wednesday session, we'll do breakout groups, and we talk about just different stuff like that, and spirituality, and just it's mostly spirituality and like metaphysics and stuff like that. But in that group, we'll use like breakout rooms, and they actually in his version he had the ability to take a poll. I think I would have to kind of get an upgraded version of Zoom to do that, but just kind of playing around. I'm just kind of invoking some of the techniques that we use in those sessions, just seeing how they work here. I think we still got about like 20 seconds, about 25 seconds before everybody's back. So yeah. Okay. It looks like we are back. Okay. So let's hop over here. I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to kind of walk through these since we all had a chance to think about it. So now let me kind of walk through it and see if you got a similar result. Oh, and let's do it like this. Where is it? I'm going to go here, share. It should be this one, share. We can minimize this and open up the chat. But yeah, let's do this. So we will do that now. There was a request to see can we review multiplying binomials. I think it does arise in one of these examples, so I'm going to just kind of move forward, and we should do it before we get finished with these examples, right? Okay, let me move these guys. So like this, and this. Something like here. Like, maybe let's do like this. And let's take 1, 2, 3. Put you here. Shrink you guys down. Come on. Then you should fit. That's better. And that looks better. Okay. And let's get rid of this stuff. Okay. So now for part A, it says f of g of x, right? So again, to reiterate, a common error, I know I heard at least one person say it, I tried not to call them out, but a common error, this symbol is not multiplication. This also is not distributing. So again, let's look at the proper translation of this notation, right? What does this notation mean? This means the second function inside the first function. This means f of g of x, right? The second function inside the first function. Okay, so what is g of x in this case? G of x is x squared minus 3, right? X squared minus 3, right? So this one is a little bit different than the previous one. The previous one, we had numbers to plug in. This one, we essentially, we do the same thing, we just don't include any numbers. We do the same setup, and then we simplify it down to see how it unfolds, right? It's all about discovery, okay? So then what is our f of x? Our f of x is 2x plus 1. And again, what color goes into f of x? In this case, it's going to be the green, which is this, x squared minus 3, right? So all we did, we replaced each x with the green thing. And then now we're just going to simplify. So one thing we can do right here is distribute this 2. We'll get 2x squared minus 6 plus 1. And then ultimately we get 2x squared minus 5. Okay? So we should have had something like that for part A. Okay? Let's look at part B. B asks us to do G compose F of X, right? So it was the reverse, right? I think we saw in the last one that this is not, this symbol, this composite symbol is not commutative, right? If the order is important. If we switch the order, it's more than likely going to switch our result, right? So let's see what happens. Again, what does this mean? This is not multiplication. This is not distributing. This means G of F of X. This means the second function inside the first function. This is the first function. Our second function is f of x. Okay. So this is going to be g of, what is our f of x here? F of x, 2x plus 1, right? So then what we're going to be doing here, we're going to rewrite the function g, but we're going to replace each x with the red thing, right? So if we rewrite the function g, we're going to say x squared minus 3. Notice I started by replacing the x with a blank set of parentheses. Again, what color goes into the blank parentheses? The red. 2x plus 1, right? Thank you. I keep forgetting about this thing. So now here, if we say the red thing is squared, what does squared mean? Well, squared means multiplied by itself twice. So it really just means this. 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Whatever answer we get, we subtract 3. All right. So then what we're going to do, we FOIL. First, outer, inner, last, right? FOIL. First times first, outer times outer, inner times inner, last times last. Okay. If we FOIL, we will get, it should be 4x squared. Ultimately, we're going to get 4x. I kind of skipped a step there, but you should be able to get there. Plus 1 minus 3. And the final result is 4x squared plus 4x minus 2 for B. Okay, hopefully that made more sense because we took a moment to look at it. And again, so the way we're doing these like breakout rooms, that's honestly the recommendation before we do our lecture, right? Because you have access to these notes. So the recommendation is to go through the notes or either the next set of classes homework before class, right? See how far can you make it on your own. The recommendation is idealistically we want, when I'm presented in class, idealistically we want that to be the second time that we're seeing the information. If that's the first time we're seeing it, it can be a little bit overwhelming. But if you've looked at it ahead of time, and then when I present it to the class, idealistically we want that to be a review, right? Let me, the notes, okay, so if you go to our Blackboard page, when you log in, it should take you to like these 7 folders. Folder number 7 is going to say box. That's where I have, actually, that's where the notes that I write, that's how you find all the stuff that you see me writing, that's where you find a copy of that. I think it's like folder number 2 or 3. It says daily PowerPoint lecture slides. You can actually find the slides there. without the handwritten part, right? And then, again, folder number 7 for anything that you see me write. The third one says f of x. Okay, so C f of x. All right. So again, this means f of x. Second function inside the first function. Okay. Well, what's f of x? F of x is the 2x plus 1. Then we're going to rewrite f of x and replace each x with the red thing. I know that sounded like a little bit of a tongue twister, or it sounded a little circular, but if you think about it, it makes sense, right? 2x plus 1. Again, what color goes into for each x is the red thing. So it's a function within itself. It's kind of feeding back on itself. This lesson is being streamed live to YouTube, so you should be able to pull it there. I think I kept it locked on this screen that you see now, but you should not be able to see the chat, at least with the latest confirmation that I've done for YouTube. But yeah, it should be streaming directly to my YouTube channel. Okay. So let's keep going. We're almost done with this example. Here we can distribute this 2. And then we'll get 4x plus 2 plus 1, 4x plus 3. All right. The second function inside the first function. Okay. And I think I'm going to collapse all this to one page. Undo. Try that one more time. Let me move this out of the way. And this one a little bit more. Let's try it one more again. Okay, that looks better. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is paper. Actually, get rid of this. Delete. And go view, single page, and let's see how do we do. All right. Let's see like this. So this is fine for now. Where are we? Actually, let's go paper. Okay. So we got 2x squared minus 5, 4x squared plus 4x minus 2, and then 4x plus 3. X squared minus 5 minus 2, right? 4x plus 3 is the last one. Okay. Let's say plus 3 or minus 3. Plus 3. Okay. And we'll do this one next time. So let me make a note. So we're going to say so 29. So we're going to say okay. And so like this. I'll go back. Give me a moment. I'm going to share. I'm just going to load a copy of these notes for you all to access. This one, this class, right there. Send it there, send the box. Okay. So with the time we have remaining in class, we can use this time to work problem sets. I'll just be available to answer specific questions. You can ask questions from anything that's on Pearson. You could also ask questions from things that's on Alex, right? So I'm just gonna be available. Okay. All right, guys. So I don't know if you still needed me to go back or not. You can actually leave it as seamless. Okay. So I'm just available if you have questions. Just feel free and let me go ahead and make it so that you can unmute yourself. So feel free to unmute yourself, and I'm just nearby. Okay.
What we doing right now?
Working homework set. So like if just working on the homework, either Pearson or Alex, right? And then I'm just available for questions.
All right.
Let's go like this. Yep. Yep.
Professor,
Go ahead.
AJ said he got kicked out of the Zoom. He said he tried joining back. He said it's not letting him.
It's not letting him. Let me see. It should let him because I didn't lock the meeting or anything. Yeah, he should be able to. Let me see. Because he's not in the waiting room. He might just be using the wrong link. However, he just tell him to come back. I was like, he should be able to get back in. Oh, what? That can't be right. So I don't know if it's outdated or not. Like when I ride around town, I see this sign that says like RuPaul coming to Atlanta. But then when I went on the web just now, it said it it says that it's passed. So I don't know, you know. But yeah, but I knew I was like, because when I saw it, I was like, oh, she would definitely like that. I know how much you like peanut butter jelly. Oh, it's too funny. But yeah, I kept kept meaning to mention it, but yeah, when I just searched the web, it said November 1st, 2019. But I was driving around like a couple of days ago downtown, and I saw a billboard. So one of them should be. Yeah, maybe we just got to look, and we could probably find something. All right, what's the time? Get a 3:05. Let me see. 3:55. So about 15 minutes. That's fine. If they leave, it's not a big deal. me charge this pen. I'm gonna pull this.